Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sam here, and I'll be doing the YouTube video for September 22nd, 2020. So in this video, I'd like to bring you three names that we're looking at or that we picked up in the room today. I'm going to start with a name here that I actually don't have yet, but I'm going to be looking for a spot to get in, and it's Lenar, L-E-N. So I was reviewing my charts here, and very few charts showed me more synchronicity than Lenar. So I think it's on a verge of a pretty significant breakout above 80. And some of the signals that I'm seeing here primarily is going to be right here, which is the daily time frame. It's just holding structure really well. It's trading near an all-time high, which is roughly $80. Very strong looking squeeze histogram with a heavy upward bias, and then all your other indicators are all pretty well aligned for higher prices. Not only do you have a setup there on the daily, but you actually have a setup over here on the 130. And you have a setup here on the 195, and frankly, you even have a setup on a 2-day chart. So whenever you have something like this, it usually starts with the smallest time frame, which is the 130, which will trigger. That triggers the next one. That triggers the next one, and then that triggers the last one. So it's kind of like a Russian nesting doll, if you will. Everything's kind of nested inside itself, and these setups can be pretty good. So on Lenar here, above the high, which is at $80, I think we have a pretty straight up target to about 83.88, which is the full target of this larger move from right here to down here. So that gives you a target up here, and I certainly think we can get there. So looking for Lenar to break out above 80, retest 83.88. I want to buy it on a pullback. I don't have anything here quite just yet. The next up is LULU. We did get some of LULU today. It did get some news after the bell. So one, Nike reported and they beat, and that's helping LULU. But then two, LULU reinstated their share buyback program. So it's actually up another $5-6 after the bell. Here on LULU, it's a completely different type of trade than what we looked at on Lenar, but I think it's just as viable. So with Lenar, we're looking more of a traditional kind of breakout momentum setup where you're buying the consolidation before the breakout when everything is aligned. Here on LULU, it's actually the opposite. Here, we're actually buying exhaustion into a name that had really good momentum. So this LULU had really good momentum on the way up, and it was sold off pretty strong from about 400 down to about 290, so about a 30% haircut there on the entire value of Lululemon after earnings. But the sell-off here has given us a different opportunity than the momentum setup. This setup is more of an exhaustion trade back to a reversion to the mean. So reversion to the mean just means, at least by my usage of the word, it just means a retest of this falling bearish 21. Now you see how the 21 EMA lines up with 330? I think that's where it wants to go. So that's kind of the idea that I'm working with. And then unlike Lenar, which had a lot of squeezes and pretty perfect alignment for a momentum trade, this one has really good alignment for an exhaustion trade. The exhaustion trade is signified when you have all your indicators at the floor on significant time frames like the 195 and the 130 over here. So you can see that point in time right about there. And we saw this signal yesterday in Amazon. And then John bought Amazon, and now it's up $170. The same exact signal I'm seeing in LULU. So with LULU here, it's again just a reversion of the mean trade, so I'm not expecting this thing to just go crazy, but I am looking for a retest of this falling 21 based on the exhaustion signals that we're seeing here. I like this trade quite a lot. It's a different style than what most folks are used to, but it's a style that can work, especially if you have tools like the Ready Aim Fire that helps you identify exhaustion. So like LULU quite a bit. And last up, I'll bring you kind of a wild card here. It's going to be Upwork. So UPWK. This one's more in line back with the Lenar type of trade, which is what we're typically will look for. And on on Upwork here, I'm looking for a breakout. Basically, you have quite a bit of consolidation here, not just on the daily, not just on the 130, not just on the 195, but you have it on the way up to the 2-day, the 3-day, and the weekly. So the difference is that this one might take, 2, 3, 4 weeks to get that big move because it has so many different setups all inside themselves. But I think the move is beginning to start. So on Upwork here, I'm looking for a test tomorrow of 1587. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that would be a test of both the upward Bollinger as well as the 618. I think given this setup here, pretty well aligned, right? You see the squeeze expanding, alignment, 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 alignment. It's aligned there, it's aligned there, and it's aligned here, and it's aligned here. So now you have perfect alignment across the board. I do acknowledge that 1587 is major resistance, but I think there's enough coil and momentum stored in this name that you'll get through it. And I'm looking for a test up here about 1663. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it'd be 7-8% here on Upwork. There could be the potential for a lot more, especially considering all the different squeezes all the way up to a weekly time frame, which you can see up here on the top right. But just kind of taking it one day at a time, and at least for now, tomorrow looking for the test and the break of 1587. If it breaks and closes above, then I'm looking for a retest of 1663. If it gets above that, then I'm looking for a retest of the highs, 1759 on Upwork. All right, guys, so just wanted to bring you 3 names that are in the rotation in the room here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to jump over to simplertrading.com and check us out. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let us know, and we're always happy to help. So hope this video was helpful. Definitely keep these names on your radar. Look for the mean reversion trade, meaning that things like the QQQ retest their 21 period EMAs on their daily, and if it can get above that, then we can go for more. But at least for now, just the mean reversion trade is what we're playing, and a lot of these names will have outsized moves if the QQQ does indeed retest its falling 21 or reverts to the mean. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you for the next one. Cheers.